If you want to save money at the store and are looking for simple, easy ways to buy in advance and freeze your chicken, this video is for you. I'm Kristen here at Joyfully Thriving, and as many of you know, I am a very frugal grocery shopper. And one of the ways I keep our family budget low is that I am constantly shopping the sales and shopping ahead. I'm buying what I need before we need it when I find a good deal. So this past week, I was very fortunate in that I found chicken was on sale for $1.47 a pound. It was limit 5 packages at Kroger, but you better believe I snapped them all up and I came home and I prepped chicken for my freezer. This is how I'm able to keep our budget to a monthly budget of $475 for our family of 6. If you want to learn more about that, I have lots of other videos on how and why I do that, and I share weekly grocery hauls, so go ahead and check out my channel. I'd love it if you subscribe and stick around to some of those. But this video is focusing specifically on how I freeze and prep meat. I've done this already with hamburger, so if you're interested, I'll leave a link to that video below in hamburger. Hamburger and chicken are the two meats that I stock the most in our freezer, and this is how I do it. It's really very simple. But I had some requests after the hamburger video that they wanted to see how I prep chicken for my freezer, so that's what today's video is. The first thing you need to know really before you start doing this is you just need to think how your family uses chicken. We have a couple main chicken recipes that are go-to, and because of that, I know how I'm going to prep my chicken. So I have 2 ways that I really prep chicken. One is in raw format and one then is in the cooked format. And generally, I don't freeze meals ahead right now in this season of life. I just find it easier to prep all my meats and pull out what I need when I need it. So the first thing I do, let's start with cooked, because I really only have one recipe I cook the meat for, and it's poppy seed chicken. If you, again, are familiar with our channel, know this is one of my family's favorite recipes. I'll leave the link in the box below if you want to check it out. But it's a great, simple meal. It's a filling meal. We use it just for us or companies, or if I'm making a meal for another family. It's always enjoyed. So to do that, you can assemble it really quickly if you cook your chicken ahead of time. So what I do is I just buy the chicken breasts, I trim them, I go ahead and put them all in a 9x13 pan. I generally take my breasts and I cut them into 2 or 3 pieces so they cook quicker, put them in the oven, bake them at 350 until they're done. I don't even have a time. I think it's around 45 minutes. I just kind of check depending on how full my pans are. Last time I had 4 9x13 pans going. Then I just let all the chicken cool and I dice it. I dice it into really small pieces. Right there, just like that, and I fill up to about 4 cups. You can use about 4 to 6 cups. I generally use a very full 4 cups for one recipe of poppy seed chicken. So I dice it, measure it up. This is a quart-size bag that fits 4 cups of diced chicken perfectly, and I just label it there. I always label everything, so it says 4 cups. And if I have a little, every once in a while, sometimes I do a 2-cup bag, so you can see it's half of a quart. Again, this will make half a recipe, or a normal recipe is a 9x13 pan, so a 2-cup makes like a small 8x8, or if I'm giving it away, this is a perfect size for like just 2 people. I can make half a recipe like this. But normally for a family, I freeze in the 4 cups, put it in the quart, smash it flat, get all the air out. I don't at this point have a food saver. It is on my list, but for now, this is what works for me. So I just smash it flat, get all the air out, and then I stack them up in a 2-gallon Ziploc bag. So this was one of my biggest tips on the hamburger, when I was freezing hamburger, and I heard a lot of you say that too. You're like, that's a great idea. It really is. The 2-gallon bags are a lifesaver. I have an extra upright freezer, which is wonderful, and I love it. But to keep it organized, I haven't been able to ever get baskets to work and things, so I just use a lot of bags. And you can see this is a 2-gallon bag, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I can actually, I think, get 5 in a bag right now. So 5 meals prepped right here to go. So now when I need poppy seed chicken and I'm gonna make it for our family, I can literally make it in under 5 minutes. I pull out one of these bags, thaw it the night before, just mix it together and throw it in the oven and we're good to go. So if I'm gonna cook chicken, this is how I do it for our family, knowing that we like poppy seed chicken. All right, now let's talk about how we cook raw meat if we're gonna freeze it, or raw chicken if we're gonna freeze it. Again, when you're prepping your raw chicken for the freezer, there really is no right or wrong. You just need to know how your family uses the chicken once you're gonna thaw it. What I like to do, the main thing I do when I'm freezing raw chicken is I never freeze it in the packages that it comes in, because then you have all the fat and things you just need to trim. I generally too, I should say, really only buy boneless, skinless chicken breasts. Every once in a while I buy chicken on the bone, the breasts I used to, and then cook it in the slow cooker and just let it fall off and shred. I'm not a chicken thigh person or chicken wings. I know some people love them, and yes, they're cheaper. It's just chicken on the bone is so much work, I always say. So when I am prepping chicken, I should have said that at the beginning, it is typically the boneless, skinless chicken breast that I'm prepping. But you can use this for any type of chicken. Again, just know what you're prepping. So I like to take my boneless, skinless chicken breasts and I trim all the fat off, and I generally trim the breasts into like 2 or 3 pieces depending on the size, and I fill up, again, a quart size bag. I used to always do about 1.5 pounds in a bag. I've since graduated to 2 or 3 pounds. Again, 3 pounds of trimmed chicken in smaller pieces fits perfectly in a quart size bag. It's a freezer bag, a little thicker. And then again, I'm just gonna load up, and this was straight out of the freezer because this last time I did a lot of cooked. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 bags of chicken in one of the 2-gallon bags. It keeps it all organized. So I tend to do that a lot with my chicken. I just really trim it and have it in smaller pieces ready to go. This is great if you're gonna marinate chicken. We have something called $1 million chicken, which has like a cream cheese on it that we all like. If you're just gonna grill chicken, pretty much any recipe this could work for. So this is why I do this a lot. The other 2 things I do with raw chicken, because I know these are recipes that my family likes, is I will cut it into smaller strips for chicken fajitas. And this is one I grabbed out of the freezer. Again, it's in just a quart bag right here. I only have one of those right now. And about 2 pounds of meat works for that, for our family of 6, the fajitas. And I just do it in strips. And every once in a while I'll do chicken nuggets. So then it's just taking the chicken and dicing it up into smaller pieces, and again, throw all those in a bag. And I generally do about 1.5 pounds on that when I'm doing nuggets. So I have I think it was from Paleo Running Mom. I'll have to check where that recipe was from and leave a link if I can find it in the description, but it makes great homemade chicken nuggets. So those are the things that I do, but most of the time when we're cooking with chicken, I just want to be able to have my chicken prepped and ready to go, which is why I love this. So again, very simple. If you look in my freezer, you're gonna see tons of bags frozen like this in 2 or 3 pounds. I always label them so I know that. And then you'll see tons of cooked. It's really those 2 options, and that's how simple it is. You don't have to make it complicated to fill your freezer and save money. Watch for a good sale, and when you do, just prep your meat for the freezer, get it in bags, and put it in the freezer. The more you can buy on sale now, the less times you'll have to pay full price. The other great thing about doing this is that I know my freezer is always full of ground beef and chicken. So if we're in the mood for chicken one week, I don't have to wait for it to go on sale that week. I know I already have some ready to go in my freezer. So it makes meal planning a lot simpler. So that's how I do it. Again, not a complicated video, but hopefully it was helpful just seeing how someone else does it. I'd love to know how you prep your freezer. Do you have a certain meal that you like using chicken in, and would that change the way you prep? I know some people, one other thing they like to do is after they prep the chicken, sometimes they'll put a marinade in, and I have done that before. Again, just keeping it separate and things, I've just decided for right now in this season, it's easier just to prep it, and then I'll add the marinade when I'm doing that if I thaw. But you can do your marinade, and that makes it really simple. If you love a certain grilled chicken or a different type with a marinade and you grill a lot, consider doing that because it is a lifesaver. Anything you can do now when you have some time, a couple hours to prep your freezer like this, will save you time down the road. So, all right, I hope that was helpful seeing how I did it. Like I said, my ground beef video has a couple more varieties and tips and tricks, so I'll leave that link in the description. If you have any questions for me, just ask away in the comments and I'll do my best to help and answer. But I hope this was helpful seeing, and I hope that you find some good deals on meat around you soon so that you can stock your freezer too. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.